Hey, so I'm both really nervous and really excited to make this video and talk about what I'm about to talk about. So I have decided to undergo bariatric surgery, or also known as weight loss surgery. So one thing is that all of my videos that I've ever made have only ever been basically from my shoulders up, because I am very overweight. Gosh, it's something that I find a lot of shame in, and I'm very disappointed in myself to allow myself to get this way, especially, growing up as an athlete and as a dancer, being more on the fit side. I mean, I've always struggled with weight my whole life, but I was always more on the fit side, before it kind of all started with my initial back injury that happened in college, where I was no longer able to work out. And I mean, to maintain a healthy body size that was acceptable for my career choice, which was a degree in ballet education, I had to keep myself as fit as possible and as in shape as possible. And to do that with the type of metabolism that I had to keep myself in an extremely low calorie diet, as well as working out 2 to 3 times a day, in addition to all of my dance classes and rehearsals and my full-time college schedule. And as soon as I injured my back my sophomore year of college, I was no longer able to do anything for quite a few months. It was a pretty bad back injury. And you have to excuse my dog. She's curious about the tripod right now. So I was very devoted to keeping myself as fit as possible, try to avoid injury, and to be able to look as acceptable as possible, trying to choose a career in ballet. But that back injury set me back extremely, and I started to slowly gain weight starting at that point. And as each year passed and as the injury got worse over time, I didn't know at the time that I already had fibromyalgia, which is why the injury never healed. I mean, I was only 23 years old when I injured my back, and no, I was only like 21 or 22, and it just got worse and worse, and the doctors couldn't understand why I couldn't recover from the back injury. It was a bad back injury, but still, I had a year of physical therapy, 365 days just about every day. And I was able to complete my degree barely. I wasn't able to really dance anymore much after that point because the back injury led to ankle injuries, which just, it was rough. I completed my degree, but barely. And then I just kept gaining weight every year after that because I could never maintain the workout schedule that was necessary for me to keep my weight at a certain point. And the depression from losing the ability to function as well as I did before caused additional overeating. And and like I was saying, it just got worse from there. I started to get myself back into shape around 2009, 2010. I started cycling. That was great. I definitely was cycling miles and doing some serious cycling to try to get myself back up to the level of working out and calorie burning that I was doing previously. But I knew that with my back injury, dance was pretty much out of the question, and heavy hardcore working out was pretty much out of the question at that point as well. But I was able to withstand cycling. But then after a few years of cycling, I had a horrible crash off my bike and fractured my collarbone and my scapula, and kind of stopped cycling at that point. And so then the weight started to pile on again from that. And then I think it was about 6 or 7 years after that is when I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia, which I'll go ahead and link the video above for that story if you don't know it. And the medications that come along with that started to cause additional weight gain as well. And yeah, and then so I just started to gain even more weight after I started medications like prednisone and Lyrica. After the start of the prednisone and the Lyrica and the other rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia medications, you know, the weight gain started again. And then I went on an extreme diet, which helped me lose some more of the weight. But at that point, I was probably about 250 pounds. And I have to be honest with you, telling numbers and telling this story is really, really hard for me because I find I'm really uncomfortable talking about weight and my body weight. And I've never been that person who was happy at a bigger weight because, you know, growing up as a gymnast and then going into dance, it just wasn't what I was used to seeing. So as I gained weight, I just became more and more uncomfortable with my body and my appearance. And of course, the extra weight does not help with the rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. Now, when I was diagnosed, I was still considered overweight, but I was at a lot healthier weight, under 200 pounds, probably only about 160 at that point when I was diagnosed. So it wasn't caused by weight gain. You know, all of that happened before the weight got as out of control as it is now. Yeah, so I went on a pretty extreme diet when I was about 250 pounds, and I was able to get myself down very close to 200 pounds with the help of like a group of people who were dieting with me. It was actually a pretty good program that I was doing, and it was really helpful. But then I was diagnosed, went into the emergency room, was diagnosed with a large uterine fibroid, and it was on the outside of my uterus, and I had to have the surgery to have that done. So all of the dieting and working out and everything that I was strictly doing as I was getting ready for my wedding had to go on hold so that I could go through the process of having this surgery. And then, of course, the surgery caused a lot of limitations. And then the weight that I had lost during that program, I gained all of it back. And I wasn't able to lose that weight again. So again, at that point, after that, weight continued to pile on. Like my body, if I didn't do extreme dieting and exercise, my body would gain a good average of about 10 pounds a year. That sounds extreme. I don't understand it. I'm guessing it's just what happens sometimes. I don't know anyone else that it's happened to, but that's what my body will do if I'm not doing extreme exercise and dieting. So I would gain about 10 pounds every year, and I just had to do the best that I can. You know, I would be able to lose weight a little bit here and there, but it was never healthy. The weight loss would be due to depression or due to financial strain of not being able to buy enough food. And so when I finally would get financially stable again, I would binge and gain a lot of the weight back. And it would just become this vicious cycle of losing and gaining and losing and gaining. And, you know, a lot of comments from friends and family about the weight gain. It would make it really hard to go to larger family events or gatherings of people who hadn't seen me in many years and knew that I used to be a dancer and a gymnast and saw what I became at that point. One of the main reasons I want to share this journey is because I want to share what it's like as someone with chronic illness as a spoonie to be going through bariatric surgery. I know that having this surgery is not going to cure my systematic rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia. I know there's some people in my life who are hoping that's what's gonna happen, but that's just not reality. Weight didn't cause me to have these things, so weight loss isn't going to make it go away. However, I should be able to minimize the severity of my symptoms with weight loss. As I age, the rheumatoid arthritis will most likely get more intense, and if there's less weight on my joints, then that's the goal that I'm heading for. Also, a large portion of it is just to be able to have better self-esteem. I would love to make more YouTube videos and to share what I do day to day to manage my symptoms and still work full time. But some of the issues with self-esteem stop me from doing anything other than making sit-down videos that just show from my shoulders up. So I will be inserting a video or like some footage of showing, my full body and what the weight looks like on me, and like the more proportionate without the great upward angle that makes things look a bit more slimming on the camera, and just coming out for the first time in this channel, full honesty, showing what I look like. When I started this channel, I was dealing with a lot of health issues and I wasn't working at the time, and those health issues are actually causing me not to be able to eat solid food for a long period of time, and so my weight was a lot better at that time. But as soon as we were able to find the root cause of what was causing my stomach issues, the weight came back, and that's just like the cycle that I've been on this entire time. So I want to be able to let some of you out there who have, some chronic health issues, specifically autoimmunity and fibromyalgia, to see what it's like for someone like me to go through this journey, to see what effects that it has on those things, and just to see how I deal with some things a little bit differently. The process will be a little bit differently because I'm autoimmune. So I'm very excited for you guys to go on this journey with me as I document the entire process from my first pre-op visit through my bariatric nutritionist visits to, my pre-op appointments and any additional testing that my doctors may require due to the chronic health issues, and kind of let you guys know what my insurance is going to require as well. I have been contemplating getting this surgery for many years now. A good friend of mine had this surgery back in 2020, and I saw how life-changing it was for them. I have had people suggest bariatric surgery to me for a long time, but I never thought I would wait enough for that to be an option for me. I was always able to lose a good portion of weight through diet and exercise, but as the rheumatoid arthritis and fibromyalgia has gotten worse, the weight is just getting worse, and I'm very aware of my limitations of being able to exercise and what I can and can't do. So a lot of this is going to be very much diet-based, focusing on really changing the way I eat, how I eat, really hitting head on what I have self-diagnosed myself as having, binge eating disorder, which once I see the bariatric therapist and the nutritionist as well, I'll find out if that's something they would agree with as well. But I know that that's a large portion of how I've gotten to where I am as well. I know the root of where these issues came from, some traumas in my life, some things with my upbringing as a child that have led me to have this issue. It's very much an emotional response to binge eating. And so I, very open to sharing with you guys you know, how I process dealing with that and changing that in my life, as well as just approaching this as someone who is autoimmune. So I plan to, as much as I can, you know, restart this new body, this new stomach with a plant-based diet, because it helps with the inflammation for me personally. Not that I'm suggesting that to anyone else, but that helps with the inflammation and with the rheumatoid arthritis symptoms and the RA symptoms extremely, is to eat plant-based. And so I just kind of want to keep it that way. I know that that's what my system prefers. But it's crazy. By the time you guys see this, and once I post this, I will have already had the surgery. I'm not going to share this, just for my own peace of mind and not having to worry about people's comments on me making this choice. I am going to start recording all of the process and kind of just start putting the videos out after the surgery while I'm recovering. So yeah, that's where we're going to be going. It's going to be bariatric surgery, and I know that I am probably going to do some version of a bypass surgery. Since I deal with pretty severe acid reflux, a gastric sleeve wouldn't be a good idea for me. So it's going to be some version of a bypass. And actually today was the first appointment that I had, which is what has given me the courage to go ahead and make this first video. So I had my just very basic initial consultation with my bariatric office with the physician's assistant for my surgeon. I've already done the online class. I've actually did that back in 2020, but then I found out that my insurance, my group health insurance in my job did not cover bariatric surgery. And then the job I had after that did not cover it as well. And now I have insurance off of the healthcare marketplace for my state, and that insurance actually covers bariatric surgery. So I'm just being able to actually take these full steps for the first time. So I did my class about a month ago, and then I had my initial appointment today. And my bariatric center is amazing. And because I work from home and I have a more flexible schedule, we're actually going to get me in for a majority of my pre-op type appointments this entire week. So I have another appointment tomorrow and Wednesday and then Thursday. And then I have another Zoom appointment with a nurse that following week. And then the week after that, I will have, I think 2 weeks after that, I will have my appointment with the surgeon. And if in between that time, my insurance or my surgeon want me to do any additional testing or procedures, they will be able to do that between my my last appointment and seeing the surgeon. So my insurance may require me to have upper endoscopy. I had one in 2021, so I shouldn't need another one, but just in case, you know, we'll have time to have that done. If they decide they want me to do a sleep apnea test, you know, I'll have time to get that done. And we already ran a full gamut of blood work today of everything that's usually required. So it's kind of just going to be based on me getting all of these appointments out of the way and waiting for my insurance to approve the procedure. So appointment 1 is down. Next appointment will be tomorrow. I'll share about that appointment. I also took a little bit of footage from my appointment today with the permission of the physician's assistant that I saw. And so with any information I get, I see her as well tomorrow. With any information I get tomorrow, I'll also add that to a future video so that you guys can kind of see the kind of things we talk about and what we go over. It's not going to be very good like visual footage. I'm not trying to get the doctor in the video, just basically me sitting there and just you guys being able to hear. And also it's helping me document what they're telling me in case I forget anything. But I know that you guys are seeing this like probably a month or two after it's happened, but I'm again very excited for you guys to join me on this journey, and I'm happy to share this with you all for anyone else who's been thinking about this as well, or concerned about what it's going to be like having something like this done when you're autoimmune. And I hope that you guys find this helpful. All right, thank you.